and welcome to this week's Monkey Nut Punch podcast. And I'm here always with Keith. He's large, he's round, he bounces off the ground. It's Keith. Say hello, Keith.
Hello, Keith. I like that today, even though it was being incredibly rude. It was a musical number. It was happy. It was jolly. Good.
Do you know what the funny thing is? I was having a conversation with people at work, and they were bringing out how you converse with certain people, and if you don't insult them, they feel odd. So,
do you know? I mean, do you remember? I mean, how one of the funny enough first person in the chat, right? Do you remember how Chuck here didn't quite understand the sarcasm of your vlog that time? And I was explaining to my wife today the difference between, you know, different humours, and my wife is getting very, very sarcastic, and I couldn't be more proud. I did something today. She just turned around and went, "Fucking seriously."
Fucking serious.
I was so proud.
Oh,
I was so proud. She's becoming more sarcastic.
She's starting to be British. That's what it is. It's the Britishness in there. If she takes a Britishness test, she'd probably fail, meaning she wins.
So
okay, can you hear some? I can hear a weird noise coming from a cupboard. Can you hear a weird noise coming from a cupboard?
We ain't got me 3,000 followers yet, so we can't come out.
Yeah, there's this weird noise coming from the cupboard. I wonder what it is. Let me see if I can get a webcam in there. Oh my God, it's Keith. It's Nigel, Keith. That's what I meant to say.
I have not left this cupboard since 2016
when you were last on with us.
I have not managed to get those 3,000 likes.
You can't do anything with this man. It's unbearable. Yes, we're joined by Nigel, everybody.
Yes, because we are not part of the what do we call it? The ginger. What is it? It's called the ginger side. Yes,
the ginger side that's happening in Hollywood.
Yeah, we support ginger lives matter.
Yep, they certainly do. Even though nowadays I'm only partial ginge because I have no hair.
Yeah, it's weird. I had a request from Beer Stupid Gamer to make sure that you were on the podcast, and he's nowhere to be seen at the moment. So
yeah, unfortunately, I haven't been able to see him and the others in the last few months. I think because my son has taken over my PC for schoolwork and playing games. So
okay, all
kicked off.
All right, so. Nige, you're not familiar with the way we've been doing things recently since you departed, since you were ejected into space because you were an imposter. I need the little thing that you get when you're playing Among Us.
To be fair, I was never caught.
You were never caught.
I won.
Okay. You won.
In my first ever game.
You were hiding in the electrical. So what we're going to do is we've got some bits to talk about. We've got 4 news topics. The John McTiernan review, because we've been going through John McTiernan films of Last Action Hero. We've got Severance that we've watched on Apple. Keith wants to talk about Paradise, which was kind of sprung on me at the last moment. And then we'll just get on with things. So. I need to make sure. I need to bring my show notes up. I have to bloody switch things around now. Hang on a second. It's terrible. If you've thrown everything off, where am I? Interview with. There you go. Okay, cool. So our first story is. I need a video. Hang on, that one will do.
Put a chicken in and make her name it gay.
It's so Marvel, everybody.
I can't hear them.
Oh, that's fine. I'm sorry. In a recent interview with SFX magazine, Dario Scarapan, showrunner for the upcoming Disney Plus series Daredevil Born Again, has discussed the approach to integrating the character's past Marvel Cinematic Universe appearances into the narrative, whilst acknowledging the Daredevil's previous MCU events are considered canon. Scarapan, I think that's the way you say it, noted that certain elements, such as the character's one-night stand with She-Hulk in She-Hulk Attorney at Law, will not be emphasized in the forthcoming series. He stated, You can say that Daredevil is canon in the MCU, but those other events happen, but some of them we're not gonna lean into. Basically, he's like going, wow, yeah, these are shit. We don't want to talk about it. If we just brush them under the carpet, they'll disappear, which I don't blame him about. So we've got some bits to talk about. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for the Daredevil Born Again TV series, Nige.
No.
Okay, so what do you call it? I think I'm gonna have to do something with the chat. Bear with me a moment.
I mean, did you ever try and watch She-Hulk? Because I got about 2 minutes into it and couldn't watch any more of it. So I never actually saw as far in as when Matt Murdock turns up, or more importantly, where Daredevil turns up. I did see the Daredevil fight with Echo, which was a bit shit. But I'm glad that they're kind of almost getting rid of the sort of... They're getting rid of the She-Hulk stuff, because, I mean, God, She-Hulk was an abomination. It really was.
Yeah, it was. And they did some bits in there that weren't too great in regards to that.
We did watch She-Hulk here, but with the kids, and we tried to push through, and it was just, the stories were just so boring. No, I kept saying to the kids, "Do you want to watch it?" And they went, "No, thanks." If the story can't keep the attention of kids, you're losing something there. You've done something wrong.
Agreed.
Yeah. So it's one, Daredevil's coming back. It's going to be hopefully as good as the Netflix series in regards to storytelling. It's not got the original people in there, which sucks. The fact that they're going to ignore certain bits, that the She-Hulk stuff is one of them. I know Matt Murdock is blind, but bright yellow costume. I know it's comic book accurate, but come on, man, it's supposed to be a bit stealthy there.
Does he know the colours?
Well,
did he pick them out? I just want that one, and that one. He can't see. He's just pointing.
I mean, a couple of things have come out about Daredevil this week. I mean, I went with this story because it was the more positive one. But apparently he's not going to wear the suit until sort of midway through the season, which is fine. But the showrunner has said this week that this particular season, or this show, will feature a lot less navel gazing. Now, that is slightly concerning, because some of the best moments in Daredevil, besides the fighting, was the talking, when they're just two talking heads, not necessarily fighting, just talking. That had some of the best tension, right? And it kind of doesn't make any sense, considering the trailer opens with just Matt Murdock and the Kingpin over a diner, kind of doing navel gazing. So I don't know. I want this to be good. But Marvel hasn't done anything good in and look, they're meant to be changing, but Captain America, which we'll get onto in a minute, is not going to do so well. Although I have a theory behind that. But I mean, I enjoyed Daredevil on Netflix. I maintain that my favourite season was season 2. But I get why you liked season 3. I liked the opening. I liked the bit in the trailer with the Kingpin. It's not entirely unpleasant to see you again, and then sort of like behaving very much like it is a very unpleasant thing to see him again. But Daredevil was at its best during the fighting, but also those sort of moments when they just talk at each other. There was real drama, and you had two quite good actors acting their fucking socks off. And some of those sort of showdowns where the two are just talking each other, before they start beating the shit out of each other, was quite good. But we'll see. I'm glad that they are sort of not acknowledging She-Hulk, because She-Hulk, as I said, was an abomination.
Oh my God.
And not a good Marvel abomination, just an abomination.
I would love to, I would love to actually run the She-Hulk TV, so I could do a really fucking good job. First of all, to hire people who know what they were doing. That would be my first line. That would be my first, because clearly they hired people who didn't know what they were fucking doing. Yeah, so I would hire a writer who was a fucking ex-lawyer. Would be the first thing.
And I think the underwriting rule
would
be the very first line would say no twerking.
No twerking, no Lizzo the
Number
Stallion.
one rule.
No, Megan the Stallion or Lizzo or anyone like that. Anything that would take you out of the posh word is verisimilitude, but I don't like that. Immersion is a better word because everyone gets that. But it's I want Daredevil to be good. It's Disney, so there's an 80% chance it'll be crap. That's it. That's how I see it. It's everything that Disney put out. There's an 80% chance of it being crap. So if it is crap, I'm not going to be too disappointed. But Vincent D'Onofrio and I can't remember the actor's name who plays Daredevil now. Are fantastic characters and whatnot, character actors. And I think the guy who plays Daredevil got lost an audition because he was pretending to be blind in the audition. Because he was so used to playing Daredevil. That's how committed he was to it. Did the fight scenes. Everything looks fucking brilliant in those things. I liked all 3 seasons. The best bit is probably when the Hand infiltrate the hospital. It goes all a bit supernatural. Love that. The Defenders, it was nice seeing them all together, but it was crap. The only thing that was good is seeing them all together. The first series of Luke Cage, the first half of that, really good. Killed Cottonmouth, went to shit. They did have, how can I put it, a stand-in for an evil Hillary Clinton as his mother, which I quite enjoyed. And we'll go from there. But it's,
Defenders wasn't entirely shit. There were some really good moments. Sigourney Weaver was quite good in it.
Yeah, but it didn't work properly. If it makes any sense. And the annoying thing is that Shang-Chi would be in amongst them, if that makes any sense. Yeah, but because of the way they did it, instead of making Shang-Chi kind of street level, like Iron Fist and Daredevil and Luke Cage, which he should have been, and he could have had the opportunity to introduce him then too, they bollocksed it up. As I said with the Shang-Chi movie, it shouldn't have been him fighting some end of the world thing. It should have just been him fighting his father. And remember that big assassin guy? He should have just turned around and got towards his father, and he's supposed to be his bodyguard. He goes, actually, because it's father and son, I'm going to let you have a jab at him. He would have fought like 100 men with his bare fists before he even got close to his father, and then beat his father, and everyone would have gone, no end of the world shit. Just that, boom. Would have been brilliant, but no, they couldn't do that. So I have this deep feeling in my chest that says it's going to be crap. You're gonna love Matt Murdock. You're gonna love Kingpin, but you're gonna just sit there and go, "Why did they make those decisions?" And that's what's going to happen. You can say, "Why did you do this? Why was that the choice of the route to go? Why did you pick this character to do this?" And that's all you're going to do. But you're going to look at these people and go, "Fantastic."
Well, here's the thing, right? Whilst I wouldn't be surprised if you're correct. There are a couple of glimmers of hope, right? The first go at this failed utterly in the screenings. So they reshot the entire fucking thing, right?
Yeah.
So that's not unusual for Marvel these days, right? Early tests of this, they apparently invited a load of Netflix fans to this.
Yeah.
And they liked it. Now, I like what they did with him in Spider-Man 3. That was great. Fucking brilliant cameo. I hated what they did with him in She-Hulk, but they've been brave enough to sort of confirm, no, we're not going with that. So there is possible light at the end of the tunnel. This has a fan base beyond the MCU, right? It has a kind of Netflix fan base that extends beyond your standard MCU fans and Disney Plus fans. They know what's at stake here. It's why they reshot most of it. So, whilst I wouldn't be surprised if you're right, I hope you're not.
Yeah. Me, I'm just trying to be a bit realistic about this because there are certain things that Disney could just score easy home runs on, and they've just fucked it every time. And because of that, it's like kind of, as I said, I always describe it as the abused spouse. Yeah, okay, they brought your flowers back home, but they still beat the shit out of you the previous night. And you should not forget that, and you should be calling the cops. Unfortunately, there are no entertainment cops for us to call to get these things put right. I wish there was. And with that, I think we'll move on to our next one because they kind of overlap here. So let's have one of these.
Well.
During a press event in Rome on January 22nd, 2025, Anthony Mackie, who portrays Sam Wilson in the upcoming Captain America Brave New World, shared his perspective on what makes Captain America what represents Captain America. He stated, "For me, Captain America represents a lot of things, and I don't think the term America should be one of those things in the representation. It's about a man who keeps his word, who has honor, dignity, integrity, someone who is trustworthy and dependable." These comments sparked ranges of reactions on social media, with some users expressing disagreement whilst others supported Mackie's point of view. In the response to the discussion, Mackie then clarified his stance on Instagram, emphasizing his pride in being American and the honor it feels to portray Captain America. He noted Captain America's universal traits resonate globally beyond national representation. So, right, it's like America likes to see itself one way, yeah? And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. And Captain America is supposed to represent that. There's that 1950s Americana, always do the right thing, tell the truth. Tell the truth, show you. Oh, hang on a second. Hang on. Sorry for thingy. Go on. We've got Guardians of the Galaxy, doesn't count. Bloody hell, Nige. I can't take it. You've literally been on a podcast like for 5 minutes and you disrupted me. So I there's this thing in Hollywood where they hate being American, yeah, and I don't like it. It really gets on my tits because I like America. America's a lovely country with lovely people in it. There are arseholes, but I can say the same about the UK. I can say the same about Germany. I can say the same about Japan.
Every country
will have arseholes. But I've met lots of lovely Americans. And I've met some Americans that aren't arseholes. What's the expression? I'm intolerant of everyone who's intolerant of everyone's culture, except the Dutch.
Look, here's the thing, right? Anthony Mackie's not the brightest spark in the book, right? And it's not the first time he's kind of put his foot in his mouth. I reckon this is what happened, right? The PR people went, play down the American thing, right? You know, they said to the guy that's playing Captain America, play that, because you know that those PR people are straight out of California, right? They, in their heads, everybody, and without going into the politics of this, everybody hates America right now. You know, that's what they think in their bubble, in their heads. It's not true, right? Here you have a character who comes from the Second World War, who basically was killing Italians at the time. And
I didn't think of that angle.
And maybe they said, play down the American thing. So Mackie kind of went foot in mouth and went, yeah, I'm Captain America, but, you know, it represents a lot of things, but not America. And you know you can see it when you watch the interview. He knows he fucked up, right? Because he was like, oh, yeah, I know how that sounds. And then he starts trying to wind it back. I don't actually think he thinks this.
No.
But I do think he lives in the Hollywood, Californian bubble where they are just, it's something in the fucking drinking water, if you can actually get any water in California.
And then what?
I thought you might like that. There's got to be something in there that's just fucking with their heads. I mean, the truth is, people don't think that. Most people, don't really have strong opinions on what's going on at the moment, or just don't want to talk about it. But this is a comic book film about a character whose name is literally Captain America, right?
Yeah.
So, and America, right? It doesn't matter who's in fucking charge of it, right? When you actually look at the Constitution, what does it stand for? Freedom. Right? Actually, America stands for good things. Like every country, there are dicks, right? Like every country. But actually, when you look at the fucking what America was founded upon, it was good things, right? So why the fuck can't you represent that?
I think maybe if I take my logic head on, I don't think he means it's just America. It represents, obviously, it's Captain America, and he's meant to embody all the good things like patriotism and good justice and all this sort of stuff. But what he might be alluding to is it's not just America anymore. It should be a global thing, because Captain America should embody the best of the human race, not just America. And I think he should have said it that way instead of going, it's not America.
Do you want something funny?
Weird.
The Captain America films performed fantastically outside of America. They did more money outside of America, especially the last two. So it was that Civil War and Winter Soldier. Those two did phenomenally outside. So there's clearly some appeal. And these and you have to remember, when you create these heroes, these icons and stuff, they're supposed to be champions of ideas. Yeah. So it's supposed to be, Superman, truth, justice, and the American way. Right, was one of the things. Okay, which is fine.
And balls of steel.
And I couldn't balls of steel. But it's one of those things where it's just like kind of there's some shame that shouldn't be there. Yeah. It shouldn't. They should not have any shame in it. As Keith said, doesn't matter who's in charge. Doesn't matter if it's red or fucking blue. Yeah, your country is there. It's like it's fixed to the continental shelf, for fuck's sake. It's not like when Brexit came up, everyone was thinking that we're going to stick an outboard motor on the top of Scotland and push us down into the Caribbean. Yeah, no, we've left Europe. No, we left the European Union. We're still attached to the fucking continental shelf, gentlemen. Yeah, and it's the same with America. And it's like having these ideals that you are fair and you are just and you're there for free speech and you're there for making
little
sure
man.
You try and get on. Yeah, the little
He's
man
fighting for the little man.
and that you can start from small and make it big if required. Yeah,
He's basically standing up to the bullies because the little men and women can't. And that was my thought about, as a non-comic book person, I thought it was that. I thought he was standing up for the people who couldn't stand up for themselves. And that is what he embodies. So it transcends America. It's more of a global thing. He's standing up for people globally rather than what he said, in my opinion. I think he just worded it wrong. And then, as you said, he sort of went, oh, fuck, did I say it that way?
And in fairness to him, you see that he realizes that. I don't think he thinks this. I think it just came out wrong, right? And the internet's gone mad with it this week. And actually, when you watch it and you look at it, you know it's some PR idiot, right?
Yeah.
That's like played down. Look,
We've done a focus group.
Yeah.
Focus groups are the worst.
There is nothing wrong with being patriotic, right? There is nothing wrong with being proud about where you come from, right? All our countries are broken at the moment. I'm not going to go into the politics, but they're broken, right? But we can still be proud of where we come from. And what America was founded upon is essentially good, right? And it doesn't matter what's going on there now. Essentially, it's good, right? That character was a soldier. He fought bravely, right? And the one thing I love about America is the way it respects its soldiers, right? He was a soldier. He was a soldier. If you look at his original origins, he was a soldier. He kills people, but he kills people for the right reasons. But he stood for justice and righteousness, right? That is what, essentially, America was founded upon. So why the fuck can't you celebrate that? Hollywood, just grow up. Grow up. Focus on the good things. That's your goddamn job.
Sell me something happy. Yeah, I think it was. I don't know. It's in Mad Men where Don Draper, or what his name is, the guy in charge. It's Bossy Masham's character. Where it's like kind of. It's all about like kind of making people feel happy. We sell happiness. Yeah, and they need to figure out that they sell happiness for all intents and purposes. We want to be happy. We want to be entertained. We want to join these things, and it's like kind of. There's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with America. There's nothing wrong with Britain or France or any of these countries. Despite all the stupid shit that's gone through, we have bad leaders. Fair enough. Yeah, you go through periods where you've got bad leaders, and I'm talking about my country now, where we've got particularly bad leaders, and we had mediumly bad leaders, and then leaders that kind of if that and the other, but. It just happens. Your country, be proud of some of the things that you've done. Yeah, there's like the moon fucking landings, for God's sake. Yeah, what's more inspiring than that? Yeah, this is the things that people seem to forget. And why are you laughing?
Because I've seen Angel's comment. Hi, mate. You wouldn't think he's not.
Now
British.
I'm gonna look at it. There's everything. Holland. It's Holland. All right.
Can we say it out loud? I mean,
we'll say it out. We have a special section for replying to comments. We'll get to the section of replying comments. And with that, I think it's time we move to. I think we'll move to the next story.
There is 5. Oh yeah, you have got it, because I thought there was 5 stories this week, but hopefully
4 I've got. You gave me 4, Keith.
Okay.
So.
Bricks? Oh no!
I can't hear them, but I do in my head.
You do in your head. Your head's filled it all in.
Nigel, you might not be here every week, but you still threaten to send me round to people's next barbecue a lot.
Eat all their food.
I do.
Yes. The estate of Joseph Schuster, the co-creator of Superman, has filed a lawsuit against Warner Brothers, Discovery and DC Comics, alleging the unauthorized use of Superman characters in several countries. The lawsuit is filed in the Southern District of New York and claims that under British and Canadian copyright laws, the rights to Superman reverted to Schuster estate back in 2017 and 2021, respectively. Despite this, Warner Brothers have continued to exploit the character in these regions without authorization. The estate seeks damages and injunctions to prevent further use of Superman in these territories. Without proper licensing, this legal action could potentially impact the international release of the upcoming Superman, directed by James Gunn, scheduled for July 2025. Warner Brothers has stated its intent to vigorously defend its rights. Oh my God, it's like we're sitting there worried, is it going to be crap? And it's like, now they've got to worry about, hang on a second, is this legal?
Yeah, but this, like, the estate of Joseph Schuster has been filing freaking lawsuit after lawsuit for years. I mean, I don't know enough about this, so I'm going to be careful in passing too much judgment. But it does, because there's been multiple lawsuits, it does feel like they're just trying to make money. And in all fairness, Joseph Schuster has kind of passed. And I do often feel that these kind of lawsuits should be thrown out because it's not like the creator who actually did something is still alive.
Do you know what I think they should do? And tell me if I'm wrong. Is the creator's died? There should be enough money in the kitty to keep his immediate family going and his grandkids. Yeah, I think it should do what it's always supposed to have done and return to public domain. I think Superman should be put back into public domain. That's what I think. I think the thing is should be his argument should be it's now public domain, and have it at that. And I can't wait to watch a Superman-based horror thing like Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, because we know that that's what they'll do. That's the first thing they will do is they will go, yes, we can turn this into a horror film.
Oh, wasn't there a film that is similar, like a child lands on Earth from another
that's
planet?
Brightburn.
Brightburn, yes.
Ironically done by James Gunn,
Very good.
who's doing
I enjoyed
Superman
that,
film.
because it fit
I don't think I saw that actually.
It
I did.
was really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's
Anyway,
I mean, there's another thing that's come out. I mean, yeah, they should be worried about this. There is one thing that's slightly concerning. So I don't know if you've seen the TV spot for it, where it shows him flying along, and a lot of people have taken a little bit of
he
exception
makes a
to-
derp face.
Yeah,
Superman does a derp face. Do you know
So-
why I think it? Do you know what I think that is? Hang on a second.
why
Keith,
don't-
do you know what I think that is?
Why?
Go on, have a guess what I think that is. I think that's AI. I think
Well-
they used AI to make that.
Here's the thing, right? James Gunn has come out and said no CGI was used. It's 100% his face, and the plate is from the what do you call it? Spellbard, right? So the flying scene's done by a drone. Calm yourself, Jack. In Spellbard.
You and drones.
And then they've superimposed him over the top, and they've used a wide-angle lens. And actually, if you know anything about wide-angle lens, yeah, I can see it. But here's the thing, right? 99% of people are not uber camera nerds and understand that, you know, the way lenses work and lens distortion, right? So, James, whilst I accept your explanation, you're still a moron for putting it in the bloody trailer, because most people are going to go, what the fuck does that just looks weird? So you do not use it to advertise it and then come out with what is essentially a really nerdy fucking explanation. And it's true. It more than likely is true.
he should be. If you're marketing a film that is meant to be seen by a wide variety of people, you need to have something that is the most far-reaching, which would appeal to the most people, not just the nerdy people who would understand that sort of thing. Because then you've got to come out and explain. The more you got to explain a trailer, the less appealing it is, in my opinion.
Yes, agreed.
So
I mean, it's like
just,
I don't
just
think
show
they tested
something
it.
cool. Just show something
Yes.
cool that just speaks for it speaks for itself. You don't need an explanation. Don't need to come out and clarify and all that sort of bollocks. Just show something cool.
Favorite moment in the trailer is him saving a little girl. Why didn't they just put more of him saving people in the trailer? Boom.
Maybe a little bit of jeopardy in there if there is some in the film. Saving
well-
people, a little bit of jeopardy. Don't really do too much. Just a little tease on what potentially he might be in trouble with or by. And, you know, don't do anything too nerdy. Because people are like, is this really for me? Not?
I agree.
You know. Sorry, we've moved from the estate thing, but I'm thinking the original person, so it's the estate of this person. This person might have deliberately moved that into his estate as legally prior to his demise. And I would have thought if there was ongoing agreements with him and the estate, or for that particular character, that should be honoured prior to then putting a limitation on releasing and so forth. If you sort of...
I think the estate has been going after Warner Brothers since the Richard Donner movies. By the sound, I mean they have made multiple, but they've never won. Now this one is apparently slightly different, and there is some legal stance for it. But
there are 2 expired copyrights that weren't picked up, so that's one thing. That's probably why that's probably what they're latching on to. So if we don't get it in the UK, and they don't get it in Canada, I imagine we'll have to sail the high seas to see this film, and hopefully it'll be a good thing for us, a good print for us to watch as we what do you call it, of the Caribbean. I'm just gonna say of the Caribbean, just so we can get what we want out of it. It's I don't think you're right. It's probably going to go nowhere. If anything, if they wanted to do it right, they would push for it to be pushed into the public domain if they were doing the right thing. But they're not doing the right thing. They want their money. They want a pound of flesh. That's all it is. And we know it is. It's them being greedy and this, that, and the other. And there'll be a lawsuit here in Canada, and they'll try and sort it all out.
If they were doing the right thing, as in the estate, obviously he created this character to be seen by everyone. If the estate were doing right by him, they would also want that character to be seen by everyone. Just come to an agreement with whoever's making a film about it, or want to license that character, and just crack on, mate. You know, why be a dick about it?
Agreed.
Yeah.
But people want to be dicks nowadays, don't they? 'Cause it's edgy.
People do. I don't think it's not about edgy. It's about money.
The estate is edgy.
They're not edgy boys. Yeah. This is not them trying to arrange a fight with Mike Tyson on Netflix.
And then sell it for $1 million.
$1 million really poor stream, and it's basically Jake Paul fights a pensioner.
Yeah, probably.
Because yes. But hey, these things happen, and it's novel. Anyway, let's move on to our next story.
All right, Gold Member. Don't play the laughing boy. There are only two things I can't stand in this world. People who are intolerant of other people's cultures, and the Dutch.
What?
Brilliant.
If you know about me, you know why that's such a great fucking video. Netflix has announced that Sandman will conclude with its upcoming second season. It's scheduled for release later this year, and the decision comes amidst multiple sexual assault allegations against the series creator Neil Gaiman, which he has denied. Showrunner Alan Heinberg stated that the series was always intended to focus on Dream's story and that of the remaining source material, which was suitable for one final season. Basically, oopsies. So I think the first thing we need to talk about is Neil Gaiman's a massive feminist, which always makes me just a big fucking red flag, yeah? Because it's usually CML feminist, they've done something wrong and they're desperate to cover it the fuck up. That's always the general rule with these people. And
he's covering up a steaming pile, literally.
Oh no, I don't want to go into scatological likings. I really don't.
Right, okay. Without going into Neil Gaiman's appetite, why is it that you know, in modern society, in modern day, that it's not built into these contracts that creators, the people that, you know, make money out of this, will only get a fraction of money or no money if they bring, or their actions bring, you know, the particular piece of work, into disrepute.
Oh, Keith, that's brilliant. So it's like kind of so say if I was promoting Pepsi and then I was caught drinking Coke. Yeah, there's going to be something in my contract about that, isn't there? Yes. You're absolutely right. I'd never thought of it that way. That is fucking brilliant.
Why is it? Because there are thousands of people involved in this production, right? There are thousands of people involved in this. It's not, you know, and Netflix has cancelled it because idiots on the internet will go, oh, he's making all this money, no one, and they'll be boycotting this because fucking idiots, right? All you have to do is say, right, you know, we're making when we decide to make something, we make a contract with the creator or the writer if it's, you know, proprietary stuff, right? Basically saying, right, we'll pay you a shitload of money, but if anything comes out about you, or, you know, you've put your dick where you shouldn't be, right, you're not going to get a fucking payment. End of. Right? And
You've basically put the project in disrepute.
Yeah, you've impeded our ability to make money. Yeah, where we were basically using you to make money. As I said, the Pepsi Coke thing's probably the perfect thing. Like with Gal Gadot and the bloody Huawei thing. So she got a deal with Huawei, yeah, and she tweeted out online, "Oh, it's fantastic using my Huawei," and at the bottom says, "Sent from iPhone." Huawei weren't too happy about that. I can imagine you wanted to see Huawei or from the platform that they used to use on Twitter or X, whatever you call it. And yeah, you're absolutely right, Keith. And as I thought about it, if you bring us bad press and you stop us our capacity to do this to make money, then we should have a clause. Because it's not just that; it's the final season of the Good Omens. Thank you. And the Dead Boy Detective Agency thingy too.
That got cancelled. Good Omens was meant to be a full third season and has got cut to one 90-minute episode. Although Good Omens season 2 was not good. The only good thing in it was John Hamm, but it was entirely not good. So I feel sorry again for the cast and people that are involved in the show, right? But I as a fan, I'm not that interested. I wasn't that bothered about it not really getting cut down. but Sandman was good, and there are a lot of Sandman fans out there. I mean, it is especially in the comic book thing, and when I was collecting comics, one of the ones that a lot of comic book fans always banged on about was the Sandman, right? And it had the versions of Sandman had Constantine in it. It had there were mention of the of Superman and Batman and all sorts of things. Sandman comes into contact with those, and for years people have wanted them to make an adaptation of it. And it wasn't a perfect adaptation, but there were some really good episodes in the last season, and it was going to expand, and we were going to get at least 3 or 4 seasons of this. And now it's coming to an end. And despite what they're trying to say is, there is an ending. There isn't. And everybody suffers from this because the one person misbehaved, right? And it will come out. There will be police things because he really has been a naughty boy, and he's going to get screwed over. But he shouldn't make money from this. And then all the people on the internet can shut the fuck up. Because they can say, well, he's not making any money out of this. This is we are absolutely nothing to do with Neil Gaiman. We don't even have to put his name on this anymore. Because he forfeited that.
Yeah, going back to Good Omens, that fucks over Terry Pratchett's estate.
Yes.
So that's not good there. And it is sad, but I'm going to say when it comes to production for TVs and films and stuff, that the people who usually work on these are really good and they can usually find work easily. But it's not nice that they were promised a job for a period of time that they can't have for that period of time, which is not nice. And then they have to go out and get other work. But it's Neil Gaiman is I think he's the most overrated comic book writer and writer of all times. Yeah. One of the examples I'll give you is American Gods. Have you read the book American Gods?
Yeah. Some of it.
Right. Okay. So in American Gods, there is a whole fucking section about this Moonlight Shadow, what his fucking name is, yeah, hiding out in a town. Yeah. And it ends in that town. And it really is fucking anticlimactic and terrible end to the book. And the editor needed to turn around and goes, you need to cut this bullshit. Because it's boring, yeah, and it really takes you out of it. Yeah, you got the whole thing with Odin and Mr. World and no, fuck it, I'll ruin it because it's not that fucking good. That Odin and Loki are playing the new gods off against the old gods off because if they kill each other in their names, they get power, and that's what they really want at the end of the day. And that was great, and it ended, and then I got 3 fucking chapters of him in a town. After. What the fuck was going on there? How anticlimactic! It wasn't even an epilogue, and he's not like Frank Miller, and he's not like
he's not.
Moore. what's his much more?
Alan
Not
Moore.
even in the same fucking league. Alan Moore's a nutcase, yeah? And you can see his creative genius comes from the fact that he's
a nutcase.
batshit bonkers insane. Yeah, and you can genuinely see that from that. Frank Miller, he's had more misses than hits, but his hits have been good, which is kind of expected from a creative. But when it comes to Neil Gaiman, he's massively overrated. He's been coddled as a fucking writer, and because he's been coddled as a writer, he gets away with this. He was getting away with this shit, and now with like everything, karma is cast for its money back.
Oh yeah, somebody who claims to be a feminist, like he was. It's like, okay, yeah, all right, mate. But I do feel sorry for the Sandman people. And I think now, even more so, that when you take on a comic book adaptation or anything like that, you need to build, you need to put into contracts and things like this. And honestly, as much as I like House of the Dragon, no more fucking George R. Martin goddamn productions until that fucker's written the book, 'cause he's a con artist. Do you know how many millions he's been... Now, you say that.
Hang on,
I think...
Nigel, can I ask you
forgot,
before
what
Keith
have I
goes
done?
on? Nigel, man.
No,
Can you just
I'm not
continue
going to
that
go
thought,
off on one.
Because you heard something I didn't hear. I would like you to repeat it, so just for the listening audience.
I said he won't.
Yeah, but he might, because he's taken millions off the publisher for that book, and I reckon at some point, if he doesn't, publisher's going to do him. He's making too much noise on the internet. But anyway, I've just remembered there is one more story.
One last story. Well, I've got the last
Squid
story.
Games.
You can see it. It's lined up. That's it. Don't let me announce what it is. Right. Fucking hell. Hang on a second. I think we'll have one of these.
Oh no! What happened? Oh no! How terrible! That's just awful! How terrible! Oh no!
Netflix has announced the third and final season of Squid Games will premiere on June 27th, 2025. This season will continue the story of, oh my god, Song Ji-hoon, played by Lee Jun-jae, as he confronts the aftermath of his failed rebellion against the game's organizers, led by the enigmatic frontman Lee Byun-hung. Hun.
Damn it! I had an opportunity here.
The narrative is expected to delve deeper into Ji-hun's struggle to dismantle the deadly competition, to explore the origins of the frontman. In addition to this, a new character called Shea Su, described as the boyfriend of the infamous doll Young Hee, will now be introduced. I fucking hate you, Keith. Perhaps they used to do this shit to me on the Gaming Face Punch podcast all the time with fucking
Numbers and letters.
said 115731N25. Yeah.
I wish.
No. It's Korean names.
It reminds me of that. Go on. The only way I could have made it worse.
could have made it worse is if they were Polish names, because I'd really fuck them
Oh,
up,
no.
because I'm struggling with Polish. I think it's chronic.
Do you remember that time where they got a news person to read out live on air that there'd been a crash in China and the captain, Sun Ting Wong...
Yes.
Oh, you did
No,
not.
mate, it was we too low. It was brilliant. One hung low.
Bung Ying Ao. Yes, I remember that.
Tim hung well. Right, first off, right, correct me if I'm wrong. How is this, like, they're calling this third season for tax reasons, aren't they?
Probably.
Yeah,
Because
I imagine.
Netflix, like everything else that they've done, right? They've like spent like 4-month gaps between the release dates, and they've called it season 2 A and B. They did that with Stranger Things, right? They've done it with shitloads of things where they've released half a season and released another half of a season a couple of months later, right? This is exactly the same. This is season 2.
Yeah.
It's season 2 B.
Yeah.
Because it's coming out. I was expecting this to come out like at Christmas, right? And we're getting it in what, April? So this season 2, but I mean, I'm happy about it because we get to see the conclusion faster than I thought. And it has become Netflix's most watched thing. I mean, it's done incredibly well, but it's not season fucking 3. It's season 2B. I mean, there's barely a gap. I mean, it's been, what, 4 months between it? Come on.
Yeah, I can't remember when season 2 was released. Was it September?
A month ago.
Oh.
Literally.
I know, because I just blitzed through it. I did enjoy it. I did enjoy the different take on the outside and then the different way. And I don't understand why, if I'm going to talk about this rather than the release date, you might have already discussed it, but why he, going back in, wasn't suspicious of 001 because the previous 001 was the runner.
Part of him might be. It might be like when you watch The Traitors, Nige. Yeah. And it's like kind of, it's clearly this fucker. And then why didn't you vote for them? It may be like that. It's like kind of, they're not going to pull the same shit twice. Now, how are they? Maybe I should look at number 2.
But yeah, I did enjoy it, and the fact that they after the first game, none of the other games were the same, and his advantage was gone, literally gone. And I did like the twist where after every single game they were going to do a vote. I did like that. Completely changed things, and I did enjoy that. So I'm really looking forward to when this comes out, because again, I'm going to blitz it. Can't get enough of.
It was good. I mean, I maintain that I don't think it was quite as good as the first season because it didn't have that the sort of newness to it. But I mean, I've watched it twice now, and Gareth's absolutely right. That first episode is phenomenal. And I mean, that first episode is actually genuinely, I enjoyed it much better the second time. And it's funny, I'm going back and watching a lot of things now twice because I notice a lot. And we're going to talk about something in a bit that I've watched twice because I noticed a lot of things the second time round. Like a lot of things.
My only issue with the Squid Game season 2 was the police officer who was shot at the end of the first season in the sea and whatnot, picked up by a fisherman. Yeah. And I said, apparently they've been going back so often trying to find that island. The fisherman was in the area to apparently fish, so he would know the area that he picked him up in, and he's claiming they've been to all of them in the area. And I said to my wife, that fisherman is not a fisherman for 100% sure, because the fisherman would know exactly where he picked him up and the currents in that area, and they would know when something lands in a bit of water, they could very easily find that out where something would drift from a particular area after a certain amount of time, very, very easily. And I said, that is very suspect from that fisherman. And at the risk of saying something where people haven't seen it yet, I won't say what happens in the final couple of episodes, but it was exactly as I was expecting. And I was like, yes, I know.
I need to watch what's happening, because I got really pissed off with the guys on the boat.
Yeah.
It took me longer to realise that the fisherman was in on it than I'd like to admit.
The first time I saw him, I said, he's not a fisherman. She said, why is that? I said, just listen to what they were saying. It
was the moment he was going on, he didn't know what a drone was.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah.
As soon as he said that, that's the bit that got me, and I'm just like, oh fuck me. It's like, as I said, my favourite bit is where he's got the recruiter at the end of that first episode, and he gives him the speech on the 5th pull, and he's like, kind of, oh yeah, this, that, and the other. Goes, your life's worth this, that, that. And then he pulls it, and nothing happens, and then he passes him the gun back, and he's like, he repeats the speech back to him, and the guy knows he's fucked, and it's just it's beautiful. Apparently, that Korean guy is renowned for being in romantic comedies. Yeah,
Oh,
so
the
he's like
recruiter.
he's like Hugh Grant to us
Ah,
back
yeah,
in the
yeah.
day. So imagine Hugh Grant being an absolute arsehole and then blowing his brains out. I'd pay to see that.
I thought it was quite well done, to be fair, with
Oh,
them tracking
dude, I
him
love
down.
that.
And I just found the military people that they recruited for the
Yeah.
boat, they didn't seem too professional in terms of how could they possibly be trained to the military, ex-military, because they're now private security. So how could they possibly be? Because they were so incompetent at a lot of things. They were almost as incompetent as the thugs that Matey Boy hired himself.
But
his
they played on the fact that they were incompetent. Though.
They did, and they were
played
just
on
as
that.
incompetent as
And
each
you
other.
felt very sorry for them when they got it.
Yeah,
Well, one of them got it because he was kind enough to not get the other guy killed, which was good.
Yeah. I thought that was really good. The scene.
Anyway,
but I am looking forward to season 3, even if it isn't season.
season 3.
I think it's a continuation of season 2 because there was less episodes.
It is. We all know it is. It is.
It's
We
taxing.
started off with that.
Taxing.
Taxing.
It's gonna be a taxing or something that they're calling it season 3.
That was just to get people back watching
Yeah.
Netflix.
Oh yeah.
I think it will, because it's Korean. I think it'll be good.
Yeah.
Listen, 80-20 in the other direction. 80% chance it'll be really good, and 20% chance it'll be crap. That's what I'm going to say with that. Unlike a Marvel property where it's the other way around, 20% chance it's going to be
It was just such a cliffhanger at the end. How is he going to get out of it? Because you know the games from the first season and this season, they literally kill. That's their thing. That's their thing, without any hesitation, and yet they've hesitated with this guy. So why? And how is he going to get out of it? Also, I like the fact that they were following Pink Girl around.
Well, that's his out. Yeah. She's the one who's going to turn. She's with the heel turn or whatever you call it. Not heel turn. It'll be a babyface turn in this case.
Yeah.
Where she'll then help them out because she likes the guy in there who's gone there to get the money for his daughter, and that's going to be the thing that happens. So it's being set up. The problem is because it's split into 2, it doesn't seem as relevant because of the distance and time that we've had to wait from beginning to end of December to June. So it's going to have that slight disconnect. So they're going to have to redo that a bit because you know that she deep down she's a good person, even though she's
doing what she's doing. When we were watching the bits on the outside before the game started, and she was at that theme park working as a person in a suit. Did you find yourself Googling what that theme park might be? So to one day maybe go for it?
I didn't Google that.
I started trying to find out. There's a few theme parks in South Korea. So unfortunately, there is one that stood out though. Yeah, it's a real theme park.
We should move on to the comments and then discuss a few things because we haven't got Nigel for a lot more time.
I can hear that music.
Do you know what it is?
It says
Come
heartbeat.
on. Yes!
I can read it.
Yes. Oh.
I can read it on the side. But I'll take it.
Chuck gets the gold star for coming in first. It's a Gareth original. He's round. He's big. His roundy bounces on the ground. I can get that.
That's
Laurie, I hope you had a lovely birthday last weekend. Because it was your birthday last weekend. And then we've got a... Holy crap. It's Nigel. I've shocked everyone. Hello, everyone. Nigel, you're alive.
Just.
Only briefly.
Now, my wife knows you're alive because you message her every so often talking about bloody holidays and this, that, and the other.
That's what they tell you. When he comes around, if he leaves his keys in a bowl, you just want to be worried.
Live from the closet. Yes, Nigel's live from the closet. The Power of 3 is back, and I'm thinking of that stupid thing from the fucking Acolyte.
The Power of 1! The Power of 2!
Power of 2.
Power of 3 is many. Sorry.
So, yes. I don't know if we had a spammer in the comments or we had someone who was overly eager. I popped them into timeout, they disappeared. I apologise if you were a bit too keen, but kind of want things on topic. It's bad enough when Dave turns up to plug his book and then fucks off.
He does.
Does, he genuinely does. So if you were there and I've put you on I put you on timeout just to try and calm the chat down because I was trying to run things, it kind of threw me. So if you want to come back in,
it was a weird agenda-y thing. So.
Yeah, but you know, maybe if they calm down, we could have a proper conversation, this, that, and the other. But and then we got everyone saying hi to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone is literally saying hi to each other. Hi, Chuck. Da, 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 da. Oh, crikey, they did fucking get a bit excited in the chat. Oh my god. Anyway, this is thinking my head of a spammer here. It's not necessarily. Twitch is terrible for spammers, but yeah.
I think
BTTF.
He sent me a picture. Chuck was in California this week, and there was some Back to the Future memorabilia, which I would have found difficult to resist as well, including a full-size hoverboard. By the looks of that picture, I would have bought that.
Which one was it? Was it the Mattel? Oh, okay.
Yeah, the pink one.
So yeah. So okay, cool. Chuck, tell me you didn't start any fires while you were out there. None shall pass. Got me thinking of Monty Python now. Yeah, I think that's good.
Yeah.
I love the boys. Isn't that the guy who runs fast with a cardiac issue? I'm really tired. Oh, you're thinking of A Train.
A Train.
Yeah. So Keith, Chuck says he's at Ground Zero. Now I don't know if it means at Ground Zero as in the United States, or is it Ground Zero as in New York
or California.
Or California.
Fuck
me.
No, he's back home.
Or New Mexico. He's back home. He's safe.
He's back home.
All right.
Oh, right, there we go.
Okay, so everything will be fine, darling. Chill. There's water in Southern California. I just witnessed it last week. Yeah, I can imagine that. Keith Rant's killing me. So many swirling things in my mind. I'm not sure right now to bring them up on the show. That's fine. We don't mind.
Right, buddy.
There's everything wrong with France. You would think that being American. Do you want to hear one of the weird things? This is a weird fact that I heard, and I was like, oh shit, I think they're right. If Britain gets into war with anyone, one of the first 3 countries that will come to our aid is the United States, Poland, and France. Because we're only supposed to fight each other, according to the French, and we'd do the same for them. Oh, Viper pilot. You met a... Sorry. F-16s call their planes Vipers, even though they're not Vipers. I met a F-16 pilot was retired at a bar in California. Did you wake up in the morning? As soon as I found out the first... Sorry. Anyway.
He's responding to the comment when I said about how
military and
yeah.
They respect their vets.
Yeah,
they do. What's up? Sorry, no, don't be. Keith requested your presence.
I did. I'm aware of some of the stuff you said. Gareth showed me your off-topic comments, made me laugh.
Shh, not supposed to know that.
Well, I know it.
That was sent to you in anyway.
Sorry. I don't mind.
Let him know he thinks he's cool.
I'm not letting him know he's cool. He's not cool. He's clearly a geek.
Geeks will inherit.
You should see some of the. Well, I've got to show you.
He's
some
one
of
of
the stuff that we were sending. So yes, I had a discussion with Gareth last week. France stinks. Yes, still not as bad as Holland.
Parts of France stink. Where
Paris.
I had a house, it was nice. Yeah, Paris is awful. But where I had a house was quite nice.
You see,
I love listening to the Germans complain about the French. If you ever listen to any nation complain about the French, the Germans are just like, I do not get this. Da, da, da. They're expecting the French to be a certain way, and they're not that way because the Germans are very fixed in their mindsets. Yeah, they were just astonished because they're fucking rude. You guys say sorry all the time, and it goes, people complain about that, but that's polite because the French.
So are the Austrians.
Captain America is supposed to stand up for core ideals that embody. It seems atrocious It seems
Atrocities.
it seems atrocities happen no matter who's doing the hurting. Captain America will put it up, but not even. I've read so much, my mouth is dry. And
Essentially, he was saying what I said.
Yeah.
Stands up for the little man.
Yep.
Tun,
hang on a second.
Tun the unlikable nerd, but I think he's agreeable nerd.
I think he's agreeable nerd too. Maybe he's just derpy. That's the Superman thing. Maybe he really is.
Yeah. Got a derpy
Yes.
face.
Okay. This is the derp face again. There's a similar explanation to why Saturn looks flat through a telescope. It has to do with perception, and when things are far away, they lose their three-dimensionality.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I suppose so. But I've always seen the NASA shots, which are fantastic, of Saturn. So I think the closest I've seen Saturn is just like this little blur on my son's camera. Cool. The dude at the observation told me that. Oh, you went to that That's great. That's a great one. Greenwich is better though. Just not the fact that we put a line through the world dividing it, making it 0 degrees latitude and responsible for the source of every time, everywhere. Germans don't get to sit down to eat lunch unless we say it's 12 o'clock. That's true. This is where the angle of the lens kind of sucks. Okay, cool. Gold member. Yep, definitely. And you get yeah, baby, for Austin Powers. I've got a wow. I can't remember. Oh, anyone named One Hung Low. Maybe think of a Korean pink.
I'm gonna find Korean.
Dong.
I'm gonna find Korean stories from now on. It's fucking brilliant.
Look, I'd just like to point out in January, 50% of our traffic was from Singapore.
Okay, so
They
not
beat
wrong.
the Americans. The first time the month that they beat the Americans, it was Singapore.
Because I said nice things about Singapore.
The nice Singapore is very nice. I like their slings. Perfect for arms and drinking. What's happening? Hot stuff. Lol. Nigel's back. Yes, Nigel's back. Biffy, you're late, man. I know we started early, which threw you out. Sorry. Blame Keith.
I've literally been.
That's going to be. I should relabel this episode to blame Keith.
Normal then.
Yeah.
Situation.
Nigel has grown a long beard, even though every time I put a comment on, it covers his face. Which is terrible. Because he's been trapped in that cupboard. I made him cut his hair, which he was fine with. Is Nigel coming out the closet soon? I don't know. Captain America looks like A-Train. Yes, he does look like. He does look like A-Train. France will surrender within minutes.
Literally every French person has a mini white flag in their back pocket. Just for
the thing with the French,
eventuality.
it's not because they're cowards. It's just because they can't be bothered.
Mm.
It really is because they can't be bothered. It's like, oh, go to war. Ugh. That's what their response is.
Fuck that white flag. Can't be asked.
Yeah. Did he? I didn't even offer my condolences to your toilet. Oh, yes, last week. Babster made a comment about how I need to make a movie of you going for a shit because it would be more entertaining than anything produced by Disney and Marvel and Star Wars. And he's right.
Part of the reason, and I should actually qualify this, so don't read into what I'm going to say here because it's not what you think. But part of the reason that we are early today is because I've got no water to flush anything. So I'm having a pump.
It's a big one.
Well, we've got a bucket. Literally, we're using buckets.
Oh, you got a shit bucket.
No, to pour down. We got a couple of buckets of water.
Oh, you're not shitting in the bucket.
The pump went where pumps go to die today.
You know you're a true nerd if you've got a shit bucket.
Just like to point out the irony. Last week had the shits.
Yep.
He's destroyed the toilet. That's all I can say.
And this so $400 this weekend has cost me on a new pump and bloody water tank. Anyway, right.
Right.
So
just Greenwich. Got a couple more comments and we'll go. So yeah, do it next time. Next time you're in London, See if you can get Keith to give you our number. We'll go and grab dinner somewhere or something, yeah? It'd be nice to talk to you about all your travels and stuff. I still haven't watched the Bloody Bear video. I got like 10 minutes into it, or 5 minutes into it, and I had to go and do something. I still haven't got back to it. Saw the bit with the Meridian line outside the building. Yep, cool. Yep, the curse continues. Late to the Greenwich Observatory. Oh, okay. Right. Last comment, and I think this is the winning one. I'm gonna pop into the streaming lab. I'm gonna pin this one. Where is it? Keith has a forearm-sized yam wedged sideways. He's just waiting for the water and Sven. Congratulations, Be a Stupid Gamer. You have won the comments this week. And now...
Nige, when do you have to go?
Probably 15 to 20.
All right. So, should we talk about Severance? Are we going to talk about Severance this week?
We can if you want. I watched it. It's we were going to talk about Paradise, Last Action Hero, and and Severance were the three things that I've got down. So, how would you like to continue?
Well, I was thinking if we talk about Severance first, and then we could either do Last Action Hero and then talk about Paradise at the end, so we don't spoil it for Nige. Because if Nige is going to watch this, he should fully embrace the twist. Okay. So, because it is almost a work of art how they did that. It's unusually good writing for a first episode or something. I will say that much. But we'll come back to Paradise. Severance. I thought the third episode was better. And I like where it's I like where it left off, because now it's going to be a bit of a different show.
Sorry, my brain went to Paradise then and forgot we were talking about Severance. I thought I was going to but the therapist. Oh no, sorry, wrong show. So yeah, he's trying to. So Mark Scout's outie is desperately trying to get Mark Scout's innie a message to try and figure out what's gone on in there. So he had to burn an image into his eyes with a lamp, which was one thing. And then, you got that. Milchek, who always reminds me of Patterson from Peep Show. It's just a bit odd. Kind of feeling a little sorry for him at the moment.
I think he's going to turn out to be a good guy. I
think he's going to have a turn. I think he's going to have a turn, and it'll turn into a good guy. Mm-hmm. We really do. So that's one thing. I'm trying to just remember what happened now, because it was the goats and Gwendolyn Christie.
Brilliant.
So they went. Right. So this is. I remember now. I remember now because I watched it. I made a load of notes in my head, and it was like there's a bit more satanic imagery and bits coming in with the goats and the unbelievers and the cowbells and bits. And I can't remember half of it, but it's starting to feel it, because Lumen, light, company is bringing light. The bringer of light was called Lucifer Morningstar, ergo the devil. Okay, so we've got all these kind of things pointing at it. I don't know if it's true. I do think that it may be a sneer at office workers. I do think that's the case. So look,
it's either going to be a sci-fi thing that they're cloning, or it's going to be a religious thing in terms of, you might be right.
I don't think they're cloning, though. I really don't think
I'm beginning to think this is more leaning towards supernatural. I mean, they're almost like, you be good, you get a reward. Right, you do something for us, you get a reward. But
that's how corporate people deal with their people.
But get this right: the devil thing's a good analogy, because what's his face, the big dude with the beard, right? He gets to see his outie's wife, right, which is both nice and torturous.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't remember her. And now he knows he has a wife. He can potentially fall in love with her and never have a relationship. His desire was to see his wife. But you know that when the devil grants your wish, there's always a twist. And so your analogy that this could be heaven and hell, that's actually quite a good one after that episode.
And then you've got the matey with his picture, the light at the end of the tunnel, or exports as they call it.
Yeah.
Exports leading you where? Light at the end of the tunnel, heaven, sort of thing. There was a lot more of that in there than there had been previously. It's funny because I watched when I think about the 2 previous episodes, they didn't have that much in there of sorts. Plus, at the same time, too, you've got the old man who's in charge, but no one gets to see. A bit like God. You have to believe in them. So, it's odd. I don't know, because what's going to happen is this is what's going to happen. It's going to build up. It's going to start revealing stuff little bit by little bit. Get to the end of the 2nd season, and then we'll have to wait another 3 years for another one. And we know that's going to be a bloody case. Streaming's fucking terrible for this shite.
I don't think it'll be 3 years. I think Apple will. I think there was some problems with Severance season 2, which is why it was delayed. It was meant to be out last year. It's being delayed somewhat. But I have to say, I enjoyed the 3rd episode. I thought Gwendolyn Christie was brilliant as she was a nutcase. But she does do good nutcases. And you know, the weird goat guy, or there were all lots of weird goat guys, but the one that was kind of dressed as a goat, I just thought it was slightly comedic.
But that's the satanic imagery sort of thing there.
Yeah.
Because it was big horns. I'm just saying.
It was weird, and yes, goats, satanic. Yeah, no, you're right. I mean, I'm beginning to lean towards the more supernatural side of it. I did feel a bit sorry for Milchek this week. I think Milchek's going to turn good. What's her face? The old boss. That was a bit weird at the end. That was a bit weird.
Well,
at the end.
if you look at it like this, say if where they're working is like the afterlife, we won't say it's heaven, but we'll say it's the afterlife. Yeah. So it may be what they may be doing is they may be sorting out people who get to go to heaven and hell. Yeah. So they get to go. Oh, you guys get to go to heaven because you did good. You guys get to go to hell because you're doing bad, and that's what they're doing by putting them in these boxes. And then so it's like 3 boxes. So it's heaven, hell, go again, sort of thing. Yeah. So you get reincarnated. Yeah. As long as I don't get reincarnated as a dog. Yeah. So I think that might be one thing, but at the same time too, I don't know. It's interesting, and it is J.J. Abrams' mystery box thing, but he's not doing it. So because he's not doing it, there's a good chance that it'll be good. Because some people figured out that the box needs to have something fucking in it for it to work. Yeah.
I mean, yeah. As I said, the first 2 episodes, it was a slow start, I think. But the 3rd episode kind of had me more engrossed in it. And as I said, I loved the goat scene was great. The bit at the end with the boss is a little weird. I don't know what's going on there, but I am leaning more. As I said, I am leaning more to the supernatural side of it. I think it's, yeah, because it would explain the wife. It would explain numerous things. The look and feel of it, as well as the show, the styling of it is all a bit off and a bit weird. And her fear of the board, and the way the board only communicate through that lass. And there's many things.
What was her name? Do you remember what her name was?
Vanessa, wasn't it?
Vanessa. It's all right, because it's the reason I say that is that in what do you call it, in the Bible, if I remember correctly, he only ever communicated through Logos or the Metatron, which always sounds like Megatron. So yeah, it's because I just want to look up that just to see if that's the case, because it may be a case of that the middle. That sounds awful. Middle management are angels, and being cast out of that might be quite bad from them, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I mean, but it's a very stylized show. The music is kind of weird, and again, I am beginning to lean. It's either a sci-fi thing or it is a supernatural thing, and I think I'm leaning towards the supernatural now.
It's funny. I wasn't until that episode. That's
Agreed.
the other thing too. Helly Riggs is the name of the ginger-haired woman in it, who's in charge of Lumen.
Yeah.
Yeah. What I find weird about that is, if you know Norse mythology, Hela, or maybe Heli in this case, was in charge of hell on the afterlife, and she had one. She was split down the middle. One was old decay, and the other one was brand new, and she was the daughter of Loki. So, I don't know.
The creator could be the head of Lumen, the one that died, could be Loki. So it's a good point. I think we might be. Let's see how the 4th episode plays out. I think, yeah. As I said, it got more interesting this week. It got better this week. It was more watchable this week. So
I'm just trying to find that person's name just to try and get out, but. She's listed, but I don't think she's got a name on the IMDb. I'm just checking because it's driving me up the fucking wall.
I'm sure it was Vanessa. I can't remember. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was. But I mean, she's the voice of the board, isn't she? So
yeah, she's the one it's all going through.
She is the voice of the board. But I don't. Let me see. I can't see. I mean, she's first episode that she's turned up in.
No, I think she's been on one previously in the background.
No. What I'm talking about is it's the first episode that she's turned up in this season. So,
okay.
But I don't think it's going to. Hang on. Here we go.
Did you find her?
I've got the cast. I'm just trying to see if she's listed there.
She's not listed on IMDb because it's doing my nutting, because it's like a case of, because if it's, her name might have something in there, but I don't know. I love it.
No, she's not showing up on the cast list, which is really
I know.
annoying.
Which is really, it is really annoying, and it would probably lead to something there. So it's like kind of, So it's like Gwendolyn Christie's not got.
Yeah,
John Noble apparently is in the next episode.
Wow. Yeah, she's not listed here. That's really annoying.
That is really annoying. Very annoying. Anyway, we'll see where it goes. Hopefully it'll do something, because it was, for me, I think it started off when I first watched it felt very supernatural, and now it's kind of lent more towards the sci-fi angle, and that's leaning back towards the supernatural angle. But as I said before, this could just be a satirical sneer at office workers at the end of the day, and it could just be fucking awful. But it was a good, interesting watch. Okay.
Shall we talk about the last action hero, and then we'll talk about Paradise at the end?
Because I fucking watched it. Sorry, Nige.
I will have to duck out now, I'm afraid. However, it was a lot of fun.
Good.
Well, come back next week.
Come back next week if you can.
Yeah, as and when I can do it, I will do it.
And because you,
we're talking about Die Hard with a Vengeance next week, so watch it. Come back.
Nige.
What programs? What? Because there's
Disney
so many
Plus.
different. It's on Disney Plus.
It's on Disney Plus.
Oh, I want to see. I want to see all the Die Hards again.
Yeah, they're all on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
But because you haven't been here, I'm going to play you out to Sweeney or Ferguson. Pick one.
I don't know who they are.
Just say one of the names.
Ferguson.
Ferguson. It's quite enough of that.
I don't. Was there meant to be music? I don't know.
That's fine. There is supposed to be music on there. It's
That's a
sexy
shame.
music.
I can't.
yeah. It doesn't work on yours. I don't know why.
I don't know. I did have audio issues before I joined, but yeah.
Okay. I anyway, we'll
I
catch
will
you
try
later.
and join again. It was fantastic. I did enjoy that. Thanks to everybody for having me,
Okay.
including you lot in the chat.
Yeah.
Made it worthwhile.
I'm gonna bye, Nige.
Take care. Enjoy your dinner. See
Keep
you
me on. I'll
soon.
keep waving.
All right. Bye, Nige.
Bye. I had to kick him. I had to fucking kick him in the end. I actually had to kick him.
Let's keep the same format, okay? So
Right. That's fine. So, last
Paradise,
action
shall we
hero.
do? Shall we do
We'll do
Paradise first,
Let's
and
do
then because then we'll go into our
Okay.
John 2.
So let me set this up. So, I'm struggling to work because everything is shit, and I get a text message. Have you watched Paradise? And I went, no, I haven't watched Paradise. Goes, well, don't look anything up. Watch it without checking. All right, I'll do that. I forget. Get Saturday morning, laying on the sofa, thinking I've got to watch Last Action Hero. Oh, Keith also reminded me about another show called Paradise. I'll put that on. So I started watching it, and I'm thinking, cheers, Ian Ige. I'm thinking it's what do you call it? Like a 24. Literally, I'm watching it. I'm thinking it's like 24. There's some weird bits in there, like the house that the president in is way too small. There's way too much surveillance.
Yeah, but it was genius because again they say when you first see the flashback to him and he's bringing in his guy, he goes, "I'm going to retire in 4 years and I'm going to be in a mansion and I'm going to be on a lilo," and that's what they show you, right? And then
But he said a fuck off great big mansion. That wasn't a fuck off great big mansion.
But that's what he said.
Anyway,
I thought
as I was trying to set it up, Nigel's not being back 5 minutes. We're doing that. So yeah, you got this thing, president starting off there, and then there's some things. There's a secret. There's a clear secret the president knows. There is this clear secret the president knows. Something's up. He's covering something up. Blah blah blah. Da da da. It kind of reveals itself through, and you get towards. There's a bit where the guy's got clear bullet wounds. Guy gets shot because of said secret, and then you kind of get it revealed later on, not in that episode, because it gets to the end and the president gets shot and killed, and his guy, who I think is fucking in on it, by the way, Billy or whatever his name is.
Yep.
He's like this, that, and the other. The Secret Service turn up to manage the whole thing, and then he starts running back to his house. He doesn't take the car. He's running back to his house. Yeah, and my brain's telling me, well, if it's in fucking DC, it's huge. Yeah, DC ain't small. Okay? And he starts running back, and my brain's going, something's not right. And then you see them unlocking cars with little wristbands and paying for things with little wristbands. And I'm like, it looks like Disney. Because if you've ever been to Disney, you use wristband for pretty much everything in Disney. And they're doing that, and then he runs up and he's out of breath, and the sign behind him says sunset will be delayed by 2 hours due to maintenance or something along those lines. And you're like, what the fuck? And then there's a guy winding a duck up. I'm going to say winding a duck up because it's a bit, as a metaphor, it works better. Winding a duck up and putting it in the duck pond. And then it turns out they're in a giant dome underground. And I always said to myself the previous night, I miss Wayward Pines. It gave me big Wayward Pines vibes.
You see, I didn't when the first episode starts up and he's got minimum security, and then he's like, he knocks on the door and it's Mr. President. I thought it was a retired president, right? That's the initial reaction, because he was in like this mansion, and obviously, you know, it was released a week after the inauguration. I thought, right, it's a retired president. Then you see him in the Oval Office, right, and he says, you know, recruiting the guy that finds him dead. Right, and he says to him, you know, in 4 years' time, I'm going to retire. I'm allowed minimal security. and I'm going to retire in a big and I'm going to spend the rest of my life working in a pool. And that's pretty much what you see, right? So there I am thinking, okay, you know, he's an ex-president. He still retains the title of Mr. President because that's true. You're Mr. President for life. That is the honor, and you do get to keep a minimal security thing. Now, the thing that was going in the back of my head is, why the fuck is the head of the presidential protection thing now protecting him after he's out of office? You know, that's a bit of a downgrade in jobs, because, you know, no one is going to want to kill him quite as much as they did when he was president. But you do keep that. But the way the show goes, the whole episode is designed to deliberately pull the wool over your eyes until the point where he asks him when he's smoking a cigarette, and he goes to him, you know, do you have any more kids? Do you want to have any more kids? And he goes, good. You don't want any more kids right now. But again, early on in this thing, he alludes to the fact that the country is 9 times more fucked than you think it is. But you think he's just alluding to, like, you know,
the economy,
threats that they don't think, and things like that. It's the bit where you see sunset delayed by 2. You're like, what the fuck is this, right? And then it zooms out. And you see the sun is a fucking great big light, and they're in a goddamn dome. Episode ends, and you're like, "What the fuck have I just watched?" Right? And I was like, I was totally dumbfounded, because I was like, I didn't see that. Right? And you go back and watch it again, and it's deliberate, right? Second episode starts, and you get the explanation, or you get the beginnings of the explanation of, you know, how it was built. And actually, there's a few things dotted in the first episode. The guy that shoots him says something, but they deliberately muffle it, right? They ask about something going on down in Colorado, which is the big fuck off city, because they've had to, like, dig out a cave that's like 32 miles across. I mean, it's no fucking small thing. But there's a thing I missed in the first right. When she when the rich bird, like, invites everybody on the plane to go, you know, all these clever people that are going to help her build the city underground, right? The old guy that is standing next to her is the president's dad. And I didn't spot that in the first time round. Second watch, I was like, yeah, no, that's significant, right?
Okay.
And I mean, I really enjoyed the first 2 episodes. I thought the third episode was a bit of a slowdown, and it was a bit weaker. I mean, it is still a typical mystery box show, but that first episode was genius.
It's weird, because the first episode is the tease.
It's genius.
Yeah, it's the tease it's the tease. It's ironic, because it's the bit that kind of draws you in, and then you got the setup, which is the second episode where it explains what's happened. Yeah, and then you got the third episode, explains how it runs. Yeah. I haven't got to the 4th episode. I really like the scene where Xavier's talking to his dad, who's a pilot, and he tells him about his wife being pregnant, and it was so lovely. It's like, kind of, yeah, Dad, she's been feeling sick recently, that's why she didn't come along. It seems to be happening in the morning, and his dad's like, sorry, and it's like, can you get to be a granddad like that? And it's such a lovely. I like little things like that, and I like the I like the guy who plays David Collins as an actor. He does suffer. When he's like fucking around. There's a bit where he's fucking around with the other agent, which is like, I don't know if it's a flashback, where he's telling him he's fat and this, that, and the other, and they've just gone out for a jog and whatnot. I like that. He has a bit of resting bitch face otherwise, but it's nice to see him without the resting bitch face, if that makes any sense. And just hope they don't lean too much on the resting bitch face. I think he's trying to do Cold Smouldering and it's not quite coming along. And then finding out that the number the president wrote on the cigarette is the name of the plane where he's hidden something.
Well, no, but I figured it was a plane, but the number that's on the cigarette is not Air Force One, right? But the fact that they lingered on the tail number makes me think it's another one of those planes in the hangar, right? So it's not on Air Force One because the number didn't tally. I went back. I've watched this twice because there is so many fucking little things seeded into it.
Did you flip it around?
Did I try reversing it around? Yeah, I did. Yes, I did. Dude,
Just
Who are you
checking.
fucking talking to? Who are you fucking talking to? Of course I flipped it around. Right. But I do think it is one of the aircraft in there. I felt the third episode was a bit weaker, but I did like the flashbacks with his dad. But I think what I'm frightened of is it's going to have a phenomenal first season, and then they haven't accounted for a second season. So you'll suddenly get flashbacks in different things that then don't always add up. I don't want this to become a Lost. But that I keep going. The hook, the first episode, the hook episode is genius. I mean, it is one of, and you watch it twice, and it's still clever. And it is rare these days that I get surprised by a TV show quite like that, right? And I like the fact that it surprised me. I like the fact that this was not what I was expecting it to be. I started watching this show and I thought, okay, so who done it with flashbacks? All right, it's a bit entertaining. It's all right? And then you get that at the end. You're like, what the fuck? And suddenly what I am watching is not what I thought it was. And it gets a shitload more interesting. And they immediately follow that up in the second episode, the beginning of the second episode, which again, I liked. I don't know what the crux of it is. We don't know what the ending event was. We don't even know if it killed everybody, even though they allude to it, but we don't know that's true.
They're in the air, big flash, so it's either a meteor or nuclear war.
Yep.
Or the sun all of a sudden decided to burn
Flares.
hotter.
Yeah. Now that was my other thing, but we don't know that yet. But I just it's rare that I get that surprise, and that's why I text you, because I was kind of excited and I thought, right, we've got to talk about this because this is clever. I don't know if it's going to retain that. I don't know. I am not saying that the show is going to end up. It might end up failing, but that first episode is clever, and it's worth watching. And the cast is likable. I mean, it's got a good fucking cast. And it's got some, good actors in it. The rich woman, again, her story is tragic, but I'm wondering if that's sent her slightly mad. I mean, she's an ultra billionaire with a lot of money, and she's clearly got other billionaires involved, and the president is clearly not the most powerful person in the room. She is. Why?
Yeah, because she's not even as rich as the others.
No.
So she must have something with technology.
Yeah,
That's
and something more happened with the husband, which we'll probably see in future flashbacks. But Cow as the president, his father is involved in it, and they make the comment that his father's senile, which I think is bullshit. Because his father didn't really look senile when his father comes to go, "Where's my son?" And you don't see him getting told that he's dead. The son does, though. But again, I've got so many questions. There's so many things that are running around my head about that town, and how do you they talk about people having births, but there's got to be some kind of birth control in there, or
like in
the city. Yeah, there's a lot to be answered here. But the 3 episodes as a starter, it's got me hooked. I think it's next Monday or Tuesday. The next episode is out, episode number 4. Because it launched on Disney Plus with 1 episode, and then the next day we got 2 episodes. So it's got some kind of weird release.
Oh, I'm up
schedule.
to date.
Yeah, you
I
are.
thought the whole thing had. I thought
No.
the whole thing had aired. Oh,
No.
thank God for that.
You are very much up to date. We are all at the point of him getting down with the therapist in the shower, and then she's going, "I have a message from the president. Don't trust Billy." And then Billy's like sinisterly looking up at the Xavier's
I knew
daughter.
not to trust Billy.
Yeah, I knew not to trust him as well. Yeah. I mean, it's not just playing Nintendo Wii on the fucking sofa, is it? That's just bullshit. But I thought it was really good for the thing. I thought it's rare that television surprises me like that. So, If you haven't already watched it, Paradise on Hulu in the US and Disney Plus
in the UK.
everywhere else in all other territories. It is good. It's by the guy that wrote This Is Us, which was a different thing in America we don't talk about on here. But if you ever watched that, it's by the same person. So definitely capable writers. It could turn into Lost. I warn you now. It has that vibe. But it could be competently written, and it means that they have an end goal. They have a plan. They have an end. They've written that. If they've done what what's his face did for Babylon 5, he's got an end. They've got a book. I hope that's what they've done.
Yeah, I hope so too. I don't like it when people haven't thought these things through. So, I watched Last Action Hero.
I enjoyed it.
I forgot how much. You know what? It's a film out of time. It was at the wrong bloody point. Because it was at that point where Hollywood took itself way too fucking seriously. And it wouldn't be able to use the meta-narratives and stuff that it's got, that it was using in there. So like, look at like Deadpool and stuff when it come to films and bits. It was one of those things where it was, how can I put it? It was I really enjoyed Charles Dance. Fuck me, Charles Dance was great in that. He was so fucking good in that. He's the bad guy. He was really good, and it's the weird how you had the setup for it, and then you had him in the movie universe, and they established. It was great because they established all the rules for the movie universe. Yeah, they said, "Oh, this happens, and this happens, and this is typical," and then they established the real world rules for all these things going on. Yeah, and it did that surprisingly well, and It's so weird because you look at all the kind of references to it, because there's a clear Dirty Harry reference in there, there's a clear Die Hard reference in there, there's clear
and Charles
Schwarzenegger thing.
Charles Dance was playing his character from the Golden Child, the Eddie Murphy film. You know, Brother Numsky. He was Brother Numsky. That's why he had the weird coloured fucking eye thing, which was a flashback to the Golden Child. But I love Charles Dance. I mean, Charles Dance was fucking great in the Golden Child, but it's very meta, and I hate using that word, but it's true. But I love Danny DeVito's uncredited role as the voice of the cat. Fucking
Whiskers
genius.
the cat.
Yeah,
Whiskers the cat. It was great. I love it when he walks into the police station and he's like, kind of goes, and they have the guy on the desk, and he is purposely mismatching people as they're coming in, and it gets later as Humphrey Bogart and someone. You got Whiskers the cat, and he's like, kind of, he's clearly he needs to go on a respecting people's space course, which was quite good. You had the guy who played the sergeant. I can't remember the actor's name. He was in everything as the Yelly Sergeant.
Yeah,
I really can't remember his name. I remember him Batteries Not Included, where he plays the guy, the mute guy at the bottom of the apartment block. But it's great. The whole thing was set up and done in such a way, and it was the kind of Willy Wonka golden ticket sort of thing. There's the thing that took you into that. So it kind of, that reminded me of Willy Wonka. It also reminded me of the Never-Ending Story too. So it was kind of that kind of weird thing where it kind of get involved with it. And it did take the piss out of the action hero cliches. My favourite one is where he shoots and things bloody explode.
Yeah.
That always put a massive grin on my face, where he's like shooting stuff and expecting things to explode. And he gets into the real world and he shoots the cab and just pokes holes into it. Which was really good. And then he has the in the real world he has the bit where he plays chicken with a taxi. And it's like kind of, oh, you're being stupid, and that it goes, airbags, not airbags, basically. Because I knew this had airbags. And it was like, oh okay. Because it was, the character was much more intelligent. And there's a comment that the mum makes when she meets him. Because you really do look like him, but your eyes clearly say that, you're more intelligent than him. Which was like, I found as a good commentary on that. There's so much.
I wasn't expecting to enjoy it. I had seen it, but I think I saw it as like a 14 or 15-year-old kid. So this was the first time seeing it since then. And I thought, because people have always taken the piss out of it for years, I thought it was going to be dreadful, but it wasn't. It was really, really good. It was a good movie. It was an entertaining movie. It was an 80s movie made in the 90s. So it kind of felt like a kids' 80s movies where they still swore a little bit and, you know, allowed more gratuitous violence than they do these days. You know, a bit like the Goonies. Like the Goonies was a kids' movies in the 80s, but those fucking kids swear a lot, and there is quite a lot of gratuitous violence in the Goonies. And it kind of reminded me a bit of that. But I liked Arnie in this. I enjoyed Arnie in this film, and the kid wasn't that irritating. And again, a child actor not being that irritating, and you know the magical side with the film, you know, the sort of the projectionist, and the kid, all good old fun. And I mean the guy and he was from Home Alone too. He was the boss of the toy store, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Home Alone too.
It was.
Yeah.
It's just. I was expecting it to be. My brain was expecting it to be crap. That's the thing. I really was expecting it to be crap. It's like, no, this is good. And the worst thing is, as I said, it's a film out of its time because all this meta commentary and whatnot didn't exist back then, and the deconstruction and stuff. I know we complain about it, but that didn't exist. It was unfortunate because it was released just 1 week after Jurassic Park. Fuck me. If you're gonna get it flattened by another film, you're gonna get flattened. Jurassic Park is the film to get flattened by. Then the other one is Star Wars, one of the three of the original. But I like that they had so they did that whole thing with the tragic backstory at the beginning, and they cut out what happened. Yeah, and then but you know that because they can't show that, because he said you can't show him murdering a kid in a film. Yeah, so they literally chopped that right out at the beginning, and then they brought the villain, and then the bad guy brought the villain back at the end to then have him get his kind of redemption from it. So it was weird. So in the world where everything for him was harder and more difficult, and he'd already gone through the tragedy, he managed to get his redemption, which made it a bit more earned. And it was, it was great. It's just, what was it? The bit where he steals the body because he's got nerve gas in it, and he goes, "You're a doctor, you're a doctor, huh?" And he's like, smacks him and knocks him out, and then it's like, kind of quick, get the crane and whatnot. It played on all those things, and then he had all the kind of little cameos in there, and they did the thing with Sylvester Stallone in Terminator 2, which was good. And then he had the T-1000 and Sharon Stone as from Basic Instinct at the front door as a going into police thing. That was mad. And then the bit with the bit where he's going, "You've got a cartoon cat." It goes, "A cartoon cat's on duty." He goes, "Yeah, he's just been reinstated. He was on suspension. He's just come back. We need him." Yeah, that's the bit that made me laugh. And then he gets us the thing with F. Murray Abrams where they're talking about, what's his name, Practice in the thingy, where he does the thing about how the villain does all the exposition and tells them the whole plan. Yeah, and then he tells him that whole rule and gets caught on the same fucking trap. Part of me's going, that's good. I like that. I do like that. That's clever.
It was, I mean, as I said, it was a way better movie than I was expecting. It was a pleasant surprise after Medicine Man. And I enjoyed it. I did enjoy it. It has been funny watching his films because they're all very different films. All of his films. Even the two Die Hard movies are quite different movies. And it's going to be interesting watching Vengeance for next week. But I really enjoyed The Last Action Hero, I have to admit. I thought Arnie was, as I said, there are all these little moments, like you said, and all these sort of like cliches. The bit on top of the building where he steals the body with the crane, and they all, like, because it's a mafia wedding, they all, even the old grandmother pulls out a fucking gun, and I loved it. And that made me laugh.
Did you remember that Ian McKellen was in this?
Yes, as Death.
I'd forgotten until I watched that. I went, "Oh my
I'd
god, it's
forgotten.
Ian McKellen!" And I'm
I'd
like,
forgotten.
"Wow!" And it was just like, "That's a good bit." Casting director did a really fucking good job there because it's great, and it's like he comes into the cinema where Jack Slater, everything's been shot, and he's dying because he's in the real world, and he's with the kid. I can't remember the bloody kid's name. He turns around and goes, "I just came in out of curiosity." He goes, "He's not on any of my lists." He goes, "But you are," like that. And it's like, "Oh my god, is it me?" He goes, "No, you died, Grandad." He goes, "Oh," he goes, "If I were you, I'd be looking for the other half of that ticket." And he's like, "Oh yeah, that's a good point." And it's like death helps him out in the end, which I kind of liked. That was really good. I forgot. It's weird how you forget because movies these days are not not designed to be enjoyable as much as they were back then. Yeah. And the thing about no ugly women, because it's California. Bollocks up, it's California.
It's too busy ticking boxes now to tell good stories. And again, it's interesting watching these films. Again, you know, I get why Mum loved Red October. I do, and I still love that fucking film. And I wonder, you know, in the last 10 years, there are not many films that I have enjoyed really, like a lot, compared to these films. And there are not many films from the last 10 years that I think I'd go back and watch. There are a couple. Godzilla Minus One is one of them. Which, again, it is a really good film. But no, Last Action Hero, if you have not seen this or watched this in the last 20 years, go and watch it. You'll love it. It's a good film.
It's weird because I picked John McTiernan because I just looked at his work and I was like, it's a mixed bag. It really is a mixed bag. He never kind of like stuck to one thing. And the worst thing is I've seen most of those films. Yeah. The only one I didn't, I probably watched Medicine Man on BBC One at one point and fell asleep because it wasn't very good. But I definitely watched all the others, at exception of Rollerball, which I don't know what we'll do when we get to that one. But he's a very interesting director, and he does fun and interesting films. And it's really good. And it's weird because part of me wanted a sequel, but the sequel wouldn't be a sequel to Last Action Hero. It would be a Jack Slater movie with the rules that they established in the Last Action Hero playing out. So you'd sit there and you'd be calling them out as you go along. But I think that would be way too meta for the current lot of things going on. But I'm Nolan enjoyed, Star Trek films enjoyed, Harry Potter films enjoyed, McTiernan films enjoyed.
Laurie, is that the one with Sidney Poitier? As the detective, and it's about he's sent down to the deep south, and it's a study of racism in the deep south. Is that the film you're talking about, The Colour of Night? That's Sidney Poitier, isn't it?
Hang on. No, I don't know. Scott Bakula in.
No, it might not be.
It's got a guy called Ruben Blades in it, but I can't see Sidney Poitier on the list.
No, it's a different film. I know what you're talking about.
Guess who's coming?
I've never watched it. But I know what film you're talking about. It's not what I thought.
Okay.
It's not what I thought. Colorblind psychiatrist is stalked by an unknown killer after taking over his murdered friend's therapy group. Yeah, I know, it's a different one. I still think we should do Roland Emmerich next. I think that could be interesting.
So the thing with Roland Emmerich, he visually is a really good director. From a visual standpoint, he can frame a shot and make it look fucking beautiful. He really can. Acting wise, we'll look at the Roland Emmerich stuff when we get to it. Because
I'll tell you what, the day after tomorrow, fucking good film, right? Stargate. What's his face? Independence Day. Fuck yes.
Both of them.
No. No, we're never going to agree on that second one. No, there's one.
No, I didn't say it was a good film.
movie.
I didn't say it was a good film. I just said he directed it.
Yeah, I know he
is
did,
factually
but no, Independence Day. Independence Day. You've got 2012, which is god awful, but there are some brilliant moments in it, and you've got that fucking recent one, the Moon one, with Sam from Game of Thrones, which is really bad, but also kind of good. It's a bad good movie, Gareth. It's a bad good movie. I mean, it's terrible, but it's good at the same time, and I think that's what you could say a lot about Roland Emmerich films. But I mean, like, guys in the chat, if you want us to cover like a director or cover it like an actor, I don't know. We're really enjoying these segments at the moment because it gives us something to watch every week, and we are pleasantly surprised how many of these films that we actually end up enjoying that we think we didn't. We did it with the Star Trek movies. Star Trek 5 is no longer the worst movie ever made. Thank you, Section 31. I still haven't watched it. I can't. I've seen clips from it. I can't do it.
I can't do it either. I really can't. I think I need to get Paramount Plus because I want to watch Dexter Original Sin, and I think 31 is on that, and I'm just like,
it is.
Yeah,
it is. But yes. Anyway, I've got to go to sleep because I've got to get up and shower at stupid o'clock with a bucket before the water completely gets cut off. We got a tiny bit of water, but not a lot. So, yes. Anyway, it's been emotional.
Right. Okay. Have a good one, Keith.
Yes, you do.
Enjoy having a shit with a bucket. Bye from me.
Bye.